Good, whatever the time of day or night it happens to be while you're watching this. My name's Max Furno. I'm the media and graphic designer for Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service. As always, we've got Pete Cole, our media resources technician, working his magic behind the camera.
Hello, viewers.
And we'd like to welcome you to the podcast. This time we're in Sherborne Fire Station, and we'd like to thank the crews for having us. As this is our December issue, it's our festive season 1. So I've got a bit of a surprise for you, Pete.
Oh.
Which I always like to spring on him.
Going off topic again.
So wait there. Keep rolling.
Okay. Max has completely unplanned this one. It's caught me off guard here. He's run over to his van for some reason. Oh, look at this. He's a good boss, isn't he?
Happy Christmas. Oh, happy season's greetings.
Thank you very much, Max. I don't know what to say. Oh, some kind of comfy garment, no doubt.
I think you should open it now.
Think I should open it now?
I think you need to open it now. Yeah.
Well, it's still the last day of November here, so this is breaking quite a few rules in my book, but here we go. It is. Let's drop that down there. So, shake your baubles. I love it. Well, I need a Christmas jumper for our night out in Bath on the 8th, actually, so that is perfect timing. Thank you very much, Max. Ding, 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 ding. Shake your baubles.
So I've got mine.
Oh, great. Shall we?
I think it needs to go on.
Oh, it's a perfect fit. Plenty of space for Christmas pudding. Lovely. Does it suit me? Great. Right. Thanks, Max.
Do you like mine?
I love it.
So there you go. Happy season's greetings.
And to you, Max.
Yeah, so as I was saying, we're here at Sherborne Fire Station, and thanks to the crews for putting up with us. We are a bit disruptive, I know. So while we're here, we're also going to film a couple of our filler shows. We've got a couple of videos that Pete's been busy, hard at work editing, and they're up on our YouTube channel already, but we've got a few questions and stuff from viewers that we thought would be good to answer in those ones. So after we finish filming, we're going to film a couple more and release those over the next couple of months or so. So Pete, what have we got going on this show?
Great. So in today's podcast, we have roped in station manager for North Dorset, that's Graham Cooley, and he is going to be narrating some of the incidents that we've attended in the last few months. This includes a couple of thatch fires. And then at the end of the show, we are going to be answering some of your emails. But before then, Graham Cooley is going to be narrating some of the community engagement projects that we've been involved with.
Brilliant. So all that leaves me to do is to say, Pete, run VT.
We were proud to host a national seminar on automatic fire sprinklers at the Guildhall, Salisbury in September, organised in partnership with the British Automatic Fire Sprinkler Association. There is currently no legislative requirement for sprinkler systems in almost all residential premises within England, so the day focused on standards, regulations and technologies, alongside the practicalities of design and installation, while hearing from fire protection professionals and experts in automatic fire suppression. As a service, we remain focused on promoting sprinkler systems in higher risk premises, as we know that they save lives, protect property and the environment, and very importantly, improve firefighter safety. Chippenham firefighters are trialling a new education package for local primary schools to encourage the testing of smoke alarms. Mr. Bleep is a smiley-faced board with a smoke alarm nose that a class can look after and test every week. He comes with a set of questions that can be covered in class, such as how often he should be tested, what you should do if there's a fire, what stop, drop and roll means, and why you should never play with matches. Dorchester Community Fire Station hosted a Spark Plus course in September to provide a great experience for young adults who are supported by Ansbury Guidance, a charity which delivers the Face Forward programme in Dorset for young people not in employment, education or training. Ansbury's peer mentors were on hand to provide additional support for the specific needs of each student. The Lord Lieutenant of Dorset, Angus Campbell, presented their completion certificates following a passing out display and speeches by the graduates to family and fire service staff. Everyone involved hailed it as a huge success, and we look forward to working with Ansbury Guidance again during 2019. We're well on target to deliver 44 Safe Drive Stay Alive programmes over 4 months. That's an estimated attendance of over 13,000 people. Survive the Drive is a military-specific adaptation of the Safe Drive Roadshow, developed earlier this year in partnership between ourselves, Devon and Somerset Fire and Rescue Service, Safe South West and the Ministry of Defence. Following evaluation, the final version will be available to every Royal Navy, RAF and Army establishment in the UK from January 2019. The Safe Drive Stay Alive team can deliver corporate roadshows to any company looking to improve road safety and inspire their workforce to take road safety more seriously. We held our Remembrance Day ceremonies at fire stations and workplaces across the service, where staff joined in to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the end of the First World War. Chief Fire Officer Ben Ansell conducted the ceremony at our headquarters in Salisbury, while Fire Authority Chairman Spencer Flower led the wreath laying. Working with our partners, we hosted 2 conferences to support our staff in relation to the menopause at the Dorset Centre in Dorchester. The first conference was open to all supervisors and managers and provided an awareness of menopause-related issues and how they can affect women in the workplace. The second one was for female employees and covered key menopause facts, health and nutrition advice, as well as practical solutions to managing the menopause at work. It's now time to take a look at some of the incidents that we've attended. Let's start with a rescue, attended by the crew from this very station. Sherborne firefighters were the first on the scene to a horse stuck in a swimming pool. They were quickly joined by our animal rescue team from Poole. On their arrival, Sherborne had set up some lighting and calmed the 26-year-old horse with a tasty bucket of oats. After being sedated by the vet, the horse was pulled to safety using strops and sliding boards and was quickly up on all 4 legs, none the worse for her unexpected dip. We attended a thatched property fire near Marlborough in September. 11 of our fire crews from the surrounding area and beyond were supported by Swindon's aerial ladder platform, Stratton's Instant Command Unit, 4 water carriers and 1 of our drones, which was launched to help check for hotspots. Working with Wiltshire Police and Wiltshire Council, the A345 at Granham was closed until the early hours of the morning due to the firefighting operation. The fire destroyed the roof and damaged much of the first floor of the property, although firefighters were able to salvage most of the owner's possessions. Volunteers from the British Red Cross Emergency Response Service were on hand to offer support to the homeowners and provide hot drinks for the crews. We also responded to a fire at the same property back in 1991. Although none of today's firefighters who attended this incident were at the 1991 fire, some had worked with the now retired firefighters who had been there and recalled stories of what a difficult fire it was to bring under control. That brings us on to another fire in a thatched property, this one in Affpuddle. Around 50 firefighters were on scene fighting the fire throughout the night and well into the following morning, damping down. Firefighters worked hard to try and salvage as much as they could from the house. If you live in a thatched property, advice on how to reduce the risk of fire can be found on our website, or call us to apply for a free Safe and Well visit. About 100 of our firefighters spent the night tackling a large fire on Rempston Heath in November. The blaze affected an area of over 1 square kilometre and at one stage threatened to spread to nearby holiday homes. Dry ground and high winds fed the fire, although heavy rain overnight helped efforts to put it out. 15 fire engines, 6 Land Rovers, 2 water carriers and our specialist Unimog all-terrain fire truck were needed to protect the holiday homes and put the fire out. With the introduction of the new mobile data terminals, or MDTs, on our fire engines, we have been chosen as a case study for our partnership with Microsoft and Panasonic. A film crew visited our Devices Training Centre to interview Area Manager for Swindon and Wiltshire, Ian Geary, and Dan Grew, our Mobile Data Terminal Manager, about how we have implemented the new MDTs into our systems and how crews are getting to grips with the new technologies.
Many thanks for doing the narration for us there, Graham. It was an excellent job. Just before we move on, I just wanted to say that Pete's greatest achievement this time was to put 2 minutes of silence for our Remembrance Day celebrations onto a disc, so that we could play it during our ceremonies. So yeah, well done to you for that, Pete.
It had its own unique challenges recording 2 minutes of silence, but I managed to do it.
True story. Right, so let's look at some of the emails that we've been receiving. Pete, what have you selected out of the billions that we've received this time?
So this time we've had an email from one of our FOTs, our friend of the show. This is Kingers99. And so he goes on to write, "Hi Max and Pete, love the podcast. How was Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue affected by the tragedy at Grenfell Tower? Have you been involved with assessing the cladding on buildings in your region, and what is being done to avoid a further incident?" That is an excellent question.
So I put these questions to Group Manager for Protection, Tim Gray, and this is what he replied. "We, along with all UK fire and rescue services, were deeply shocked by what happened at the Grenfell Tower fire in terms of the scale of loss of life and our perceptions of how building would behave in the event of a fire. We're involved in the national collation of tall buildings and their cladding coordinated by Government and National Fire Chiefs Council, or the NFCC. This allowed the assessment and testing of each cladding materials in terms of its combustibility. We're working hard with the NFCC to understand our tall buildings better, both in terms of operational crews' knowledge and the assessment of their fire safety measures, which are there to protect the residents and fire crews." So many thanks for that reply, Tim. And while we're on the subject of Grenfell Tower, I think it's okay if I recommend another podcast. This one's by the BBC, so it's really fascinating insight into the Grenfell Tower inquiry, and it looks at each day that the inquiry's been sitting. It's hosted by Eddie Mayer, and if you search in your podcast app for Grenfell Tower, it's probably one of the first ones probably the only one actually that comes up on the list there, so it's quite easy to find. And it can be quite hard going sometimes, especially when you've got some testimonials from members of the family that have lost lost people in the fire or managed to escape themselves. But it's highly recommended if you're interested in that sort of thing. Okay, so Pete, have we received any more emails?
Yeah, so that was an excellent question, Kingers99. Thanks for sending that in. We've also received a comment on our YouTube channel from Stop Lego, who's one of our followers. And Stop Lego has gone on to respond to us saying, "Cool, I was waiting forever for one at Salisbury Fire Station." He's referring to one of our podcasts that we recently produced from there. "Does that mean you will fly drones in an actual emergency?" Well, Stop Lego, yes. Dorset and Wiltshire have developed our own drone team. Myself and Station Manager Dave Geddes are the two pilots that currently operate for the service. And we have developed the programme in collaboration with Wiltshire Police, who already have an established drone team and are qualified trainers as well. So we've been covering incidents for each other. It's one of the first partnerships of this nature in the country, so really excellent bit of work by everyone that's been involved here. And as you will have seen within this podcast, we recently deployed to the Thatch fire near Marlborough at Granham, and the information and the data that we took there was really useful to incident commanders on the ground. So yeah, you can expect to see a lot more drone footage as the programme expands over the next 12 months.
So was that some of your footage that we saw there in that clip?
Absolutely. So within that clip, that was myself and Dave, who were both operating the same drone. I was actually piloting the craft, putting it into the correct position, and Dave was controlling the camera, the payload underneath, and capturing the imagery. So a really good team effort to gather that data.
And so basically, we're on a year's trial period, and if it's proved successful, then we'll look at expanding out and getting some more drone pilots to provide some extra coverage.
Exactly. The drone industry is continually changing, and there's more and more equipment becoming available, particularly to the emergency services. So we're looking at a lot of options around the country and what a lot of other services are doing. But our intention is to expand the program, and maybe even Max will become one of our pilots in the near future.
Yeah, that's right. So probably a good time to keep your bets indoors and keep one eye in the sky, just in case I'm flying nearby you.
Yeah, legally, of course.
So I've still got a couple of stickers left. So if you email me your address, I'll post them out to you. They're going fast, so first come, first served basis. So that's about all we've got time for. If you want to get in contact with me about anything in the show, then you need to be able to spell my surname, and then you can email me at max.furnow@dwfire.org.uk. Pete, how can people get in contact with you?
And as always, you can get in touch with me at pete.cole@dwfire.org.uk. And we don't promote the show in any way, so we really rely on you commenting and sharing, and all questions that come into us and all comments to our media channels are filtered through to us, and we do read everyone, and we want to respond to your questions. So please feel free to ask us anything that you might like.
Exactly, and don't forget to recommend the show to a friend or enemy. Like, share, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Loads of stuff up on our YouTube channel as well. If you're interested, just search for YouTube c/DWFire. Audio versions of the show are available by closing your eyes, and also on request. We may be able to do it in Betamax or
VHS.
I don't know, VHS, yeah, Laserdisc, any of those formats, yes. The show is expertly produced by Pete Cole and presented by, and I use that word in its loosest possible form, by me, Max Furnow. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, nope, still haven't got a catchphrase, but then I'm not a presenter, I'm a graphic designer. That's all for now. So until next time, Pete, fade to black.
Adios.
Knock off, make up. Knock off, make up. Knock off, make up. If I just go like that. As always, we've got the 4,697th wonder of the world, Pete Cole. So where did I put my script? So,
Right.
Don't know where we are now.
Well, I don't think we need a script anymore. Okay, I'm going to get it this time. I've got shit with baubles.
Would have it, how built, things won't start dropping. I got that wrong, didn't I?
For now.
I forgot that one as well. What am I saying? Thank you so much for watching.
Are they still watching?
Okay, we got it.
Love it. Nice.